Hello friends, it's Dave here from SaveDecks, and a while ago I was browsing the eShop, as I tend to do, and saw there was a game in the coming soon section called Mail Mole. Being a postman in my day job, I was immediately curious, and on watching the trailer I was instantly reminded of New Super Lucky's Tale. It looked to have a similar aesthetic and the character travels underground, kind of like you do in Lucky. And it was just over a third of the price as well. Being a huge fan of 3D platformers, I was on board with this. I mean, even if it is a bad game, I would surely have a good time with it still. I mean, look at his glasses! Those are awesome! So the game has now released and I purchased it and I played it all the way through. Was it worth it? Stick around and find out, and why don't you hit that subscribe button in the meantime to keep up with our future videos. You know you want to. Now, New Super Lucky's Tale I think is a really fun game, but it was a tad too easy and it didn't take me long to beat. I wish there was more of it, so naturally I expected this game to be even shorter and even easier. It gave off the impression to me that it was aimed at a younger audience after all, but I was pleasantly surprised. It's not a long game, no, but I didn't find it to be too much shorter than Lucky. But was it as easy as I expected it to be? Well, there was actually a lot more challenge than I initially thought. I will stop making comparisons to Lucky now, as this really is its own game, and I honestly really enjoyed this one. The only real similarity to Lucky in gameplay was the main mechanic of travelling underground. So what is the aim of this game? Multi the Mail Mole is on holiday, taking a well-earned rest after a lot of hard work. Must be set just after Christmas then, we do get busy. But he gets a call for help from Carrotland and needs to travel there by cannon. Seriously, a cannon is the main mode of transport in this world. Arriving back there, you find the whole area's energy has gone just before the summer festival. That's a bit of bad luck. And it's up to you to find the batteries to restore power. The hub world has cannons scattered around. Each cannon basically represents a world, each containing 4 levels. Head to a cannon, choose a level, and off you go. So let's talk about how it plays. The controls are simple enough. Use the stick to move, B to jump, holding B will allow you to charge a higher jump, holding Y makes you move faster, and pressing either of the shoulder or trigger buttons in the air does a ground pound. You are always moving underground, you only surface when you jump up. Although you are underground, you can still get hit by the stage hazards. You have 3 hearts, lose all 3 and you die. If you press the Y button at the moment you land from a jump, you do a dash move. This took me a while to get used to, but once I got the hang of it, it was so satisfying to pull off. It could be a hindrance at times. If you use it on a short platform, then you will undoubtedly fall off, so you will need to plan ahead with it. But this dash mechanic alone makes this game control so well, and it was a joy to move little Multi around these levels. So what are in these levels? The main goal of each stage is simply to get to the end, kind of like in Mario 3D World. There are carrots littered around, which are basically this game's coins. The carrots are used to purchase new costumes and accessories from the shop in the hub world. It's cute, but it's not necessary to complete the game, and it is fun to collect them. There are no lives in this game. Instead, you will lose 5 carrots every time you die. Lives really do feel less relevant in platformers these days. The levels themselves are a lot of fun to play through. You get a variety of locations and all sorts of hazards and gimmicks. Each one has 3 hidden turnips, I think they are. Collecting enough will allow more things to become available to buy in the shop, and they are a nice reason to explore the levels, as some of them are really well hidden. You can't move the camera in this game, which for the most part is fine given the linear nature, and it places itself in a good position, although if you want to backtrack to find something then it can be a bit problematic. It's not just 3 turnips to find though, as each level comes with target times, with a bronze, silver and gold medal awarded depending on your time, which means if you're going for 100% completion then you will need to do some replaying. You can either explore these levels to find turnips or boost through them to get the fast clear time. The levels are cleverly laid out to cater for both sometimes, with some shortcuts that look a bit too convenient to be accidental. I'd love it if someone can find all 3 turnips while still getting the fastest time. I really can't wait to see speedruns of this game. Annoyingly, if you die and go back to the beginning of the level, the timer doesn't reset, so you will need to manually restart the level if you want to stand a chance at getting the gold. Each time you beat a level, you collect a battery, which are what Carrotland are looking for, funnily enough. Curiously, there are no enemies in this game, so there's no need for you to have an attack. The only battling you do are boss fights that show up after you collect so many batteries. These are fun to do. I mean, they're just basically obstacle courses where you need to reach the switch to ground pound. It sounds like the lack of enemies could be a bad thing, but that does not mean the game is easy, as the stage hazards and tricky designs are where this difficulty comes in. And although I wouldn't call this game particularly difficult, I did fall victim to it plenty of times. There are no attacks or power-ups simply because there's no need for them. What the developers have done here is taken a single mechanic and based an entire game around it. There is never any need for you to do anything more complex than your leaping and dashing out of the ground, other than the occasional ground pound on switches. And the more I played it, then the more enjoyable it got, as it felt like it was evolving, not through giving you any more moves, but by using the few that you have in different ways, such as disappearing platforms that are timed, bouncy platforms that you need to ground pound on to get high enough, or platforms that switch when you jump. They do keep you on your toes a lot. There are also some high speed levels with lots of boost pads. These were so much fun, and I just wish they were playing the Mario 64 slide theme over them. There are 7 worlds in this game, each with 4 levels. If you complete all 4 levels in the world, then you unlock an extra challenge in the form of races through a certain level. Beating on will earn you another battery. The game is very colourful, and some people might be put off by how basic it looks. I mean, the grass in the hub world is depicted as just a flat green surface, but I don't mind that at all. It's a fun looking world and has cute characters, and everything is clear and easy to see. The music can have a nice upbeat nature to it at times, but at other times it is kind of quiet and quite reserved. It's not the sort of thing you'd expect in this sort of game, but I quite like it. The overall presentation can make this seem like it's aimed at primarily at little kids. I mean, it's how I felt at first after all, but I do worry that some people might not give this a second glance, as I did find this to be a really fun time. There is some challenge in here as I progressed through the game, and I took plenty of deaths later on. The final level, I'm not going to show you, but it was so well crafted and had representation from pretty much every level mechanic the game threw at me leading up to it. It really did feel like a gauntlet of everything I've learnt and a celebration of the game as a whole. So overall, Mole is a fun and simple to pick up 3D platformer. It may look a bit too simple and basic, as if it's only aimed at little kids, especially given its low price, and while there are better 3D platformers on the Switch, if you are a fan of the genre, then you will like this game. And if you are new to the genre, then the lower price may be enough to entice you to take a punt at it. It has some great level design, it's replayable with extra time challenges and hidden collectibles. It took me around 5 hours to beat the main story, but I still have plenty to do with collecting everything and beating the time trials. It has a 25% discount at the time of recording too, so seriously guys, now's the time to take the plunge. Thank you so much for watching this review. What do you think of this game? Let me know in the comments down below, and hit that like and subscribe if you want to see more from us in the future. Thank you again guys, see you in the next one.